fans. My name is Raul. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. And today I'm working on my 73 Trans Am MCW resin body kit here. And if you've been following along, I've got a lot of body work done, got it painted, and as you can see, it's actually cleared and I got the decals on it. But it's sitting right there, ready for some more. So here, I'll show you what, here's a close-up. I mean, got the clear shot on there. You can see the Trans Am decal. And I did put some panel line from Tamiya in there, some panel line detail to darken them a little bit. I may need to do a little bit more because the camera's still kind of picking it up, but in person it kind of shows. And there's the Trans Am emblem on the very back, right there, and then you can see the light green and the gold. See the gold actually flake on that, but she's looking great. I'm really liking this color. And I got some fingerprints but I haven't done any polishing. That's just the clear right on it. But she's looking awesome. Now I did do some detail. Mostly the whole inside is blacked out. Got the headliner area done and all in the engine compartment. I still need to black out the vents in here, so those haven't been done. And then it needs foil, so it's pretty much ready for foil. I got to paint these taillights, so between my Pantera and this one, the taillight lenses need to be painted. But she's coming along awesome. Here's the shaker bubble with the, if you can see that, let that focus. The Super Duty 455 in the gold right there on top of the green paint. It looks really nice. The original decals were black, so I asked them to do them in gold, and they're looking great. And then the last piece that I really like, the bird. Now how's that? Now you can really see that gold. And she's looking really good. That light green on top of that dark green. I'm really happy with the way that came out. So that's the Keith Marx decal. And like I said, it's got the light green and the gold in it, and then the black in the center. But I'm really pleased with how that is. So that's where the body is. But I've got some more work to it. But here's the wheels. I figured I would show you some tricks. Before I start getting painted, these are already cleaned. I ran them through the degreaser. But I need to shorten these out. So this is a front wheel, and you can see some of the issue I have right here. I put the tire on. I gotta stretch the tire on this one a little bit. There we go. Get that tire started. But you can see I've got to shorten it quite a bit. You can see the difference in that tire. And I got the same problem with the rears. They're a little wider, so you can see the fronts and the rears. See the difference there? The fronts have to stretch on a little bit more than the rears do. Well, technically these are Pegasus, and they're supposed to be 225 and 245 45/18. So that's what they're supposed to be. But as I mentioned before, kind of a mismatched set because these are Bridgestone Potenzas, the front, and the rears are the Michelin Pilot Sports. But it's what I have. But so the trick to trimming these, I got a little trick for you. There's a couple of different ways to do it, but this is the way I've done it a few times. So I figured I would show you. First couple ways, there's a way to measure it. So we'll zero the gauge out, and then so I know the tire. There we go. So there's the tire, and then so there we go. Give me an idea on where I need to trim that. Right there. So I can mark that, and then what helps me, because I'm going to cut it with my razor saw here. But if you want to get a nice straight line, you kind of need a guide. Well, how do you do that on a round item like this? Well, these work. How many of you guys got extra hose clamps lying around? These work really well because the razor won't cut this, and you can start back here and use it as a guide and let it work its way down. It'll stop you because this thing here. And then a couple of things to be cautious with when you're using this thing is clamp it down very slowly, just to where it just starts to grab the rim. Don't wrench it, because you can break or crack the wheel. Especially, like these ones are hollow, so I can get a little bit more. But if the center is molded in there and it's part of it, you risk breaking those spokes or any of the spokes if you tighten it too much. So let's get a measurement here and about where I want this. So, and then you can fine tune it when you get down to where you're at. You can sand it. I've also sanded them flat on a piece of sandpaper and just keep sanding them until I get to the width I want. Problem is when I'm pushing, sometimes it goes one way or the other. So I found using this seems to work really well. So first thing I'm going to do is get it closer to the size. And also be a little careful, because where this is right here, that'll tend to be a pinch point when you do this. So a lot of times I'll flex it. You see me flex it there to get it more round, and I'll start to get it snug. So let's do this slowly and see where we're at. Still got a little ways to go. Okay, we're starting to get there. So let's sometimes even just tightening it too much and then backing it off, it'll pull the sides. Keep it from egging out, but it's kind of a problem sometimes. Oh, and be a little cautious on the wheels. See, on these, there's a front side and there's a back side. The back side's flat, so you see it's just a flat lip. But on the front, you can see it's got the lips and the soft shoulder. So I tend to be very careful. And if you noticed, I pushed the wheel on from the back because this is much thinner and breaks much easier. Especially since on these, I'm actually stretching the tires onto the rims a little bit, because they're not a real perfect fit, but it's what I have and what I'm using. But that's why I'm putting them on the way I am. And I'm making sure that this is the front, because like I showed you in the other video, they're actually different offsets as far as where the wheel sits. So when you pay attention, this one's a rear, this one's a front, and you can see where the lip is on how far that tire sits. So we'll get this one in place, and let's see. This isn't going to work out as well as I wanted it to. Now let's get this a little more round. There we go. Alright, so she's in there, and she will slide pretty easily, so I'm just holding it and getting her started. And once it starts going through, it'll start to cut pretty easily. But you can see it's holding it square and it's keeping it as a nice little guide here. There we go. So it's fairly even there. Didn't quite work out as well as I wanted it to, but yeah, it shifted a little bit. The good news is it's on the inside of the wheel, so if they don't cut really square, you can do another one. and it's on the inside, so it won't be near as noticeable. Let's try this one more time. Here we go. Okay. Yep. There she goes. It didn't quite work out as well as I had hoped on this particular one. The resin was really twisting on it a little bit. But I'll still sand it flat and smooth it out a little better. But I guess that would be the rough cut and getting me right there. So I've got a couple more to do, but we'll smooth this out a little bit. Another thing I can do is lay this down. Let's move some of this here. So it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. I can just adjust it and use this as a gauge. Use this as a gauge to see where I'm at and which side I need to sand on. So I guess I'm going to do it that way instead. So push that on there. Okay, I got the tire on there. Put the insert in there just to give you a visual. So there she goes. And let's see. That ought to look pretty good if I get the ride height just right. Now it's like a 19, but it's really more of a 20. But it's really going for that pro touring look on this one. And so I'll continue on, do the rest of them, and I'll show you the progress on them. I get the barrels painted silver and the centers painted gold, and I'll show you where we're at from there. So for those of you watching, and appreciate you following along and tuning in, and appreciate you subscribing and hitting that bell button so you can see my latest uploads. And you guys, you have a wonderful day, and thank you.